Do you plan your homeschooling as you go, but at the same time, you struggle to show progress year after year or actually loving your homeschooling experience? If that's the case, I'd like to invite you with me today as I go through some very important lessons I've learned in my experience of homeschooling 22 years that may just help you in your journey as a homeschooling mom. I'm Dollie Freeman. I'm the host of the Charlotte Mason Mastery Show. And today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why going by this going as you go, planning as you go, actually hinders your progress. So, if that sounds like something that you're experiencing right now, I encourage you to grab a pencil and paper and jot down some notes because I'm going to be sharing some key things that will help you in understanding why planning for an entire year is very important to what you're doing. So let's get started by me sharing a little bit about why I've come to this conclusion that planning as you go hinders your progress. You see, I have been homeschooling since 1999. And in that, I have literally tried every possible way of planning homeschooling, from using my entire summer, and when I say entire summer, I'm talking 8 hours a day kind of thing for the entire summer, packing my kids up, taking them to the pool so that they can be a little preoccupied while I get into the lesson plans. I've done that. I've done also going day by day where I was literally planning out in the morning. And I even tried journaling what we've done at the end of the day. I've done planning week by week. I've done month by month where we homeschooled for 3 weeks. And then I planned for a week for the next 3 weeks. And we did that month for month for an entire year. I've also done term by term, and I have learned a thing or two about planning, which has given me the experience to be able to say that if you are planning as you go, you are actually hindering your progress. And that is from my own experience. It's from the experience of coaching moms for 4 years and hearing their challenges and struggles and the lack of progress they're showing at the end of the year. So let me explain to you why I scripturally I'm going to encourage you and compel you to actually think differently, not just planning by as you go, but actually planning with an entire year in your process. And that comes from Proverbs 29:18, where it says, "Without a vision, my people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he." Now, I'm not going to get into the law of scriptures, but I will tell you that we have this duty to our children as homeschooling moms to ensure that they're prepared for adulthood, to take their place in the world. And we cannot take that haphazardly. We have to cast a vision. We have to know what that looks like, not just day by day or month by month or term by term, like I was doing, but really casting the vision of what it looks like on an annual basis and knowing what that looks like when your child is getting to be taking their steps into this world. If we take it day by day, I will tell you for my own experience that you will have your joy chipped away. One of the seasons of my life where my joy was chipped away the most was when I was planning these day by days. I was planning week by weeks. I was planning month by month. I was planning term by term. I felt it was in a constant making decisions. Charlotte Mason tells us that from the pulpit, it's been said that the effort of decision is the most wearisome, tiresome of life. And if we're going to continue to be in this major decision mode constantly, then the next thing you're going to realize is that your joy is being chipped away, that you're not happy. And if mom's not happy, no one's happy. So that is one reason why I want to compel you to cast a vision for the entire year. But in order to help you change this mindset, I know you're going to have to understand it a little bit more. So let's talk about some of the things, the 3 reasons why planning as you go hinders your progress. Number one, it's a mindset that we approach planning as we go of just getting something in. It's not how and what's important, but it's just getting something done, checking off that list, or feeling like we've gotten the important things done, or we've got the most important thing done for that day. And we look at, just saying, well, we did something versus we did the right things. And that mindset robs us from so much progress and keeps us stuck for way too long. The second thing is tendencies is focusing on our children's strength, because we tend to find the path of least resistance. That's in our nature. It's what we always do. And so when our children are really good at something, when they're not having any struggles with a subject, they're the ones that we tend to focus in on. And even if it's something as simple as handicrafts, or physical education, or nature studies, we tend to focus in on those strengths because it gives us that sense of accomplishment that we all need, while feeling like we're getting some homeschooling done. Right. And so we can say, well, at least we got those things done. And you found that path of least resistance between you and your children, and you're just focusing on the strength. Well, you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with that, Dolly? You teach about how important it is to have interest led. Well, the key of the fact is, when your children get into adulthood, it's not going to be interest led in the things that they're trying. You don't want them to graduate with one dominant idea. We really should be preparing our children with several, few for sure, dominant ideas that will help them to guide and direct their decisions as adults. But if we are just focusing on our children's strength because it's the path of least resistance, we are not properly preparing them and giving them that ration of knowledge that is every person's birthright. And we need to make sure that we're doing that. And planning as we go is not going to get you there, because I've experienced it. I can tell you, as a planning expert here, as someone who has put a lot of time, energy, and effort in understanding planning, understanding the different aspects, that is not what you want to do. And then the third thing is that by focusing as you plan as you go, you're going to avoid concentrating on the weaknesses. When we find the path of least resistance, that opposite is the fact that we are avoiding that path of necessities, those things that at the end of the year kind of keeps us up all night because our children are not where they ought to be, and they're behind in grade level, or they're really struggling, and there should be readers and they're not readers, so they should be writers and they're not writers, and they should be showing some type of progress, but because we've avoided concentrating on their weaknesses that are not just required of them in that grade level, but is required of them in order to get a diploma, in order to graduate from high school and be able to take their place in the world, and being prepared for whatever it is that they will be making a living with. And so when we approach planning in this going as we go process, going by the seat of our pants, we also have this time where we're making our decisions in the emotions, in the moment. And so if our kids are butting heads because they're struggling in an aspect, we will let it go, and we will fall prey to the lie that I fell prey to for so many years. The child is not showing progress because they're not ready. No, they're not showing progress because we haven't put enough attention into the way that the child's interest lies. And so that's where you can plan accordingly for their weakness to help them overcome it with their strengths, right? But they just cannot do that if we're just taking it by the seat of our pants and planning as we go. You have to become intentional. Now, if you're really struggling with this whole concept of planning for your homeschool, let alone planning for your homeschool for the year, I want to tell you that I'm so excited, because on Friday, I'm going to help my Wholesome Thinkers customers to be able to plan through a live 4-hour planning workshop or planning boot camp. And in it, I'm going to walk them through those essential things they need to process, those decisions that will help make room for their education time, those hours of homeschooling, while also having the entire life being a living touch of things that will influence their education, not just during those homeschool hours, but beyond those. And so, in order for you to participate in that, and let me show you, plus getting access to all of Charlotte Mason planning frameworks that I've created, you would have to join the Wholesome Thinkers. Now, I had recently closed the doors on Wholesome Thinkers, but I received an email, like something I've never received before, pleading with me to open the doors and extend it for this person. And my husband and I talked about it. We prayed about it, and we thought, you know what? We are going to open and extend this because it's a Founders Edition #1, and there is nothing better than a Founders Edition because you get all the goodness, you get all the benefits from joining when it's something relatively new, and having the benefit of helping guide and assist me in some of the decisions I have coming down the road, and helping me to hear what it is that you need in order to better provide for you. So, my 22 years of experience of not just planning, but using this method of education, instructing our children's conscience, helping to influence their minds to willingly choose to go the right way and grow to fruitful purpose, is all inside the Wholesome Thinkers. But right now, during the foundation or the founders pack, you get lifetime access to not just the planning boot camp, but 4 boot camps throughout the year, every 3 months. And in that, you'll be able to have the foundations of key aspects that you are missing in your homeschool if you're struggling in any way of planning or implementing or showing progress. So I really hope that you would actually go and check it out. Let me put this up for you. You can go to wholesomethink.com. You can learn more there, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Comment on this or reach out to me at info@charlottemasonmastery.com. I look forward to answering your questions. And more importantly, I hope to equip you and encourage and compel you to take that leap and plan for the year. If you are right now going day by day, it might be a real big overwhelm to you. But if you just thought, you know what, I'm going to jump and do a term by term, that's better than staying where you're at. And if you thinking, you know what, I can do a term, let me try doing a whole year. That would be an improvement. So don't just think, if you're just totally overwhelmed, don't think about just what you have to do in the whole picture. Think about it a little bit more. We've always heard this statement about, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, we cannot look at things just one bite or one day or one lesson at a time. We have to look at the whole picture and then consume it one bite at a time. But we have to have that big picture there, that big elephant already ready. And that's what my goal is to help equip you inside Wholesome Thinkers. So go check it out at wholesomethink.com and know that you can take a benefit of having the planning framework, the 4-hour live streaming on Friday, August 5th. And I look forward to answering your questions. Until next time, enjoy what you're doing and know that what you do matters. I'll see you then.